So this morning, I watched a video that Gary Griffith did talking about all the reasons why preventative detention orders are wrong, that the Minister of Homeland Defense was wrong, and that the state of emergency is wrong, and that even though he's a patriot, that it could be abused, and he is suggesting that maybe it is being abused to detain Dominic Hadid and his wife and a relative. I leaving all of that alone. If all they watch the video, they see the video. The point I want to make to you this morning is he used the Dominic Hadid situation to go at the preventative detention orders and the state of emergency and the powers of the minister. And I just have one question for Griffith. When it was black people being arrested and detained under the states of emergency that we've had running for years now, you never did this video. But now that it is a member of the 1% community, you rush out to do a video. That is why I call you a tool of the 1%. That's my first point. My second point is why Griffith should never be trusted. When Keith Rowley assaulted the parliament with Emailgate, the United National Congress government, People's Partnership government at the time, insisted that it was a lie, it was wrong, that Keith Rowley was misbehaving in public office and trying to overthrow the democratically elected government by trick. When Griffith became commissioner under a PNM government that benefited from Emailgate to cost the People's Partnership their term in office, because they would have gotten re-elected had it not been for things like that, Griffith come and skin up his pan for the camera and say, well, he closed the gate. They have nothing there, and he closing that gate. Emailgate. And he closed plant-like substance. And he keeps saying it. Every now and then, he's used it to show that he's impartial. That he closed some things to the PNM, and he closed some things to the UNC. But the UNC didn't want it just closed, because the moment Gary Griffith realized, as Commissioner of Police, that there was nothing of substance in Emailgate, he was to immediately open investigations into Keith Rowley. At the very worst, that is treason. At the very least, it is wasting police time and misbehaving in public office. Keith Rowley get away scot-free. Not a word after that. Gary skinning up his face. Gil. He closed the gate. But he failed as Commissioner of Police to then take action against the person who opened the gate in the first place, who, because he was able to close the gate knowing that Keith Rowley lied, when he realized as Commissioner of Police that the evidence showed that Keith Rowley lied, that the gate had to be closed, what he found out was that Keith Rowley tried to overthrow a democratically elected government by trick in the parliament, an attempted coup. Where was that investigation, Super Cop? Nowhere. And he'll probably be able to find a 10-verse and chorus to explain to you why he thought it was in the best interest of everybody to not go after Keith Rowley. But that is wrong. And that is why he cannot speak to the issues being undertaken by this government. Because Kamla Persad-Bissessar is clear. Without fear or favor, malice or ill will, the country will be ruled by law. Trinidadians have been living in a country where corruption, drug trafficking, manipulation of public office has been the way this country ran for 62 years. And she says that is over. So when jokers, play artists, actors, Google police like Gary Griffith come and give you talk this morning, I want to tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, and be clear about this in your mind. There are many ways and means that the government can abuse public office. And they've done it in the past. And we've seen that Prakash Ramada stood up in the parliament in defense of Emailgate and spoke about a time when rogue police were involved in putting missiles and cocaine in Sadiq Bash water tank while Sadiq Bash was out of the country. This is Trinidad and Tobago. And we have to fix it. But we're not going to fix it playing 1% games. And we're not going to fix it playing friend games. And we're not going to fix it saying one rule for one and another rule for another. If you vex about state of emergency and preventative detention order and you think that the system is wrong, you should have been saying that, Griffith, since the first person get charged under a state of emergency. The fact that you waited for the first Syrian to get charged, the fact that you waited for the first 1% to get charged means that your purpose in politics is to be a front and a tool for the 1%. And we have no need of you and your advice, my friend.